Neutral Nation Supervisory Commission, or once again, the NNSC camp. Delegates from Switzerland, Sweden, Czechoslovakia, and Poland originally formed the NNSC. The commission was charged with the investigation of all armistice violations occurring outside the DMZ. Currently, they work with 3 delegates, the Swiss and the Swedish, and the Polish delegates who come for biannual meeting. As you can see here from UNC Checkpoint 3 on the right, you'll see the former Czechoslovakian and Polish NNSC camp. On the left, you'll see the North Korean People's Peace Museum, as this museum was constructed in less than 48 hours solely for the purpose of the signing of the Armistice Agreement. Also visible from UNC Checkpoint 3 is the Bridge of No Return. The Bridge of No Return obtained its name near the end of the Korean War when Operation Big Switch and Little Switch were conducted. The United Nations Command returned over 82,000 prisoners of war, while the North Korean and the Chinese returned approximately 13,000 prisoners of war. These prisoners were lined up on either side of the bridge and were given the opportunity to cross in the country of their choice. However, once they crossed, they could never return, hence the name. The Bridge of No Return lies on the edge of the southern boundary on the JSA. All the blue building belong to the United Nations Command or the UNC. All the red building belong to the Korean People's Army or the KPA. Prior to 1976, the JSA was considered a neutral location, and both guard forces were allowed to cross the border freely within this area. However, the KPA took full advantage of this by building 4 guard posts along the southern boundary road. The UNC built none in the northern sector. Note the location of UNC Checkpoint 4, how it was, surrounded on 3 sides by Communist North Korea and isolated from the rest of the JSA. Soldiers working at UNC Checkpoint 3 had limited visibility of UNC Checkpoint 4 due to large yellow poplar tree that grew into this area. So on 18th of August 1976, the UNC dispatched a 5-man civilian work detail accompanied by a 12-man security force to conduct a routine tree trimming operation to improve visibilities between the 2 checkpoints. Upon the arrival, they were met by 28 KPA soldiers. Work did begin as scheduled, but after 15 minutes, the KPA attacked. This ensuing fight lasted only 4 minutes, but during that time, the JSA Company Commander, Captain Archie Boniface, and 1st Platoon Leader, 1st Lieutenant Mark Barrett, were brutally axed to death. To give you a better idea of how outnumbered we were that day, I will point out 3 of the JSA personnel visible in this photograph. First, it's rather hard to make out what is here fighting off 7 KPA soldiers. Here's the helmet of Captain Boniface, who was killed in front of his own vehicle. And here you can clearly see the KPA soldiers wielding an axe at an unarmed UNC personnel. This unprovoked act of violence led to a special series of meetings that it was decided the actual border should separate the 2 guard forces. Among this new arrangement, there were no more acts of violence until 23 November 1984, when a Soviet citizen on a North Korean sponsored tour dashed across the border in an attempt to defect to the free world. KPA soldiers armed with pistols and rifles followed in an attempt to kill or capture him. There are approximately 30 KPA soldiers located here at the northern portion of the UNC Second Guard. The JSA Quick Reaction Force were immediately alerted and were able to halt and outflank the main body of the North Korean at the southern portion of the UNC Second Guard. This ensuing fight only lasts 20 minutes, but during that time the KPA had 3 men killed and 5 men wounded, while the UNC had 1 man killed and 1 man wounded. The Soviet citizen was protected throughout the firefight and evacuated back here at Camp Boniface. During our tour today, we might see KPA soldiers. The red armband they wear state they are military police. Under the armistice all armed personnel must wear the armband. However, the KPA no longer do so. They might come down to see our tour today, but we will not communicate with them verbally or non-verbally. We provide security and assistance for humanitarian operations, such as the repatriation of remains from the Korean War, delivery of humanitarian aid to the North. We also provide security and assistance for visiting dignitaries and heads of states, such as the President of the United States, George W. Bush, the former Republic of Korea President Kim Dae-jung, Australian Prime Minister John Howard, former Secretary of State Colin Powell, and Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, all seen here at Panmunjom. Like these dignitaries, you'll be escorted by soldiers of this battalion. The soldier on the left is a Republic of Korea or ROK soldier. That's of 24 months here. The soldier on the right is a United States Army soldier. We served 12 months here. Both soldiers must met above average aptitude standards of normal soldiers, as well as possess a clean military and civilian record. It's due to all this that we are the most forward deployed unit on the Korean Peninsula, that we face our enemy on a daily basis, that the United Nations Command, the Republic of Korea's government, and the United States Army has given us our motto that we are so proud to state. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly in front of them all. Location of